If you ever wondered why some people seem to walk through life effortlessly while others seem to struggle, Florence Scovel Shinn's classic book, The Game of Life and How to Play It, might just be the key you've been looking for. So, written in 1925, this book is one of the earliest works on what we now call the law of attraction, a concept you've been hearing me talk about. Shinn was ahead of her time in understanding how our thoughts, words, and beliefs create our reality. She wasn't a philosopher in the traditional sense, but rather a spiritual teacher with a knack of turning deep wisdom into practical, everyday advice. Shinn's writing is straightforward and filled with real-life examples that show how anyone can transform their life by aligning with the mindset and the universal laws, whether they are struggling with relationships, money, health, you name it. In The Game of Life and How to Play It, Shinn explains that life is much like a game, with certain rules that need to be followed in order to succeed. One of her core teachings is that our words and thoughts have immense power, and what we say and think shape our experiences. And if we can learn how to master our inner world, we can influence what happens in the outer world. Now, if you're new to the law of attraction, this book is fantastic and a great starting point. It teaches that the universe is always responding to our energy, and we attract what we focus on, whether positive or negative. Shinn's approach is all about taking control of that power. So instead of being at the mercy of life's ups and downs, we can actively create the life we want. Throughout the book, she shares stories of people who use these principles to overcome obstacles and manifest their desires, whether it was finding love, achieving financial success, or healing from illness. So it's a simple yet powerful message. When we change our mindset, we change our lives. If you're new to this concept, do not worry. It's not as complicated as it might sound. Shinn's work is easy to understand and apply in your daily life. So if you are ready to start playing the game and using these universal principles to bring more abundance, love, success into your life, The Game of Life and How to Play It is a great place to begin. In the book, The Game of Life and How to Play It, Florence Scovel Shinn lays out a simple yet profound philosophy about how life is a game. And just like any other game, it has rules that govern how we succeed or fail. At the heart of Shinn's teachings is the idea that our thoughts, words, and beliefs are the key tools we use to play the game of life. So imagine this. You are the player, and life is the board. Every thought you think, every word you speak is a move that shapes the direction of your game. Shinn tells us that if we want to win, we have to understand these unseen rules that govern the universe. One of the first rules Shinn introduces is the law of expectancy. So whatever you expect in life, whether good or bad, tends to happen. She gives an example of a woman who desperately wanted to improve her financial situation, but was constantly fearful of losing money. Every time she made progress, she would find herself falling back into debt, unable to keep what she had earned. Why? Because her expectation was rooted in fear. It's almost as if her fear was a magnet, pulling it more in everything she was afraid of. So the key to changing her life was shifting her expectation from expecting loss and struggles to expecting abundance and success. Once she made that shift, things began to flow in her favor. And this brings us to another central theme in the book, the power of words. Shinn explains that words are incredibly powerful. They're like commands to the universe. She shares the story of a man who was constantly saying, "I never get any breaks." And as you might expect, that's exactly what happened. No opportunities came his way, and he was stuck in a cycle of frustrations. Shinn taught him to start affirming, "I'm always in the right place at the right time, and new opportunities find me every day." Slowly but surely, the man noticed a change. He met new people, stumbled upon unexpected job offers, and his life took a turn for the better. This wasn't magic, but rather the result of speaking words of faith and possibility instead of limitation. Shinn also introduces the concept of faith versus fear. She uses the metaphor of two trains leaving from the same station, one powered by faith, the other one by fear. Both trains are headed somewhere, but only one is going to take you where you truly want to go. So the question is, which train are you on? The one powered by fear or the one powered by faith? So Shinn also gives an example of a woman who constantly was worried about her son's safety. She would stay up late imagining all the worst case scenarios. But what she didn't realize was that her fear was creating a reality of its own, one where she was living in constant fear. Shinn encouraged her to let go of her fear and replace it with faith. Instead of worrying, she began to affirm, "Divine protection, surround my son wherever he goes." Gradually, she felt a sense of peace wash over her, and her son's life, which had been chaotic, began to stabilize. It was as if by shifting her inner world from fear to faith, the outer world responded in kind. Then Shinn speaks of non-resistance, which is a rule that many of us struggle with. How often do we find ourselves resisting life challenges only to make things worse? So Shinn uses the analogy of a river. If you fight the current, you will exhaust yourself. But if you flow with it, you will eventually reach calm waters. There is a powerful story she tells us about a man who lost his job. Instead of panicking, he decided to embrace the situation. He didn't resist the change, but accepted that something better was coming. So because of his calm attitude, within a few weeks, he was offered a better position at a new company. Shinn teaches us that non-resistance allows the universe to do its job. When we stop fighting against life, we open ourselves up to endless possibilities waiting to unfold. Another important rule Shinn discusses is forgiveness. She believes that holding on to grudges or resentment creates blockages in our lives. So, in one instance, she recounts a story about a woman who was bitter over a failed relationship. For years, she couldn't move on, and as a result, her career, finances, and personal life were stagnant. Shinn worked with her to forgive the man, not for his sake, but for her own freedom. Once she let go of the bitterness, her life took on a new sense of ease. She received a job promotion, met new friends, and eventually found love again. Shinn's lesson here is very clear. Forgiveness isn't about condoning the wrong done to us, but about freeing ourselves from the chains of resentment. One of the most fascinating principles in the book is the law of divine guidance. Shinn explains that every person has access to an inner guide, an intuition that can help them navigate life's challenges. But we often ignore it because we are too busy overthinking. She tells a story of a woman who was at a crossroad in her career. She was stuck, not knowing whether to leave her current job for a new opportunity or to stay. So instead of analyzing the pros and cons endlessly, Shinn encouraged her to trust her gut. The woman meditated on the decision and a clear sense of direction emerged. She made the leap and it turned out to be one of the best decisions in her life. Shinn reminds us that our intuition is like a compass. It may not give you all the answers right away, but it will always point you in the right direction. Shinn finally talks about the law of giving and receiving. Life is a cycle of give and take, and in order to receive, we must be willing to give. So Shinn recounts the story of a man who was struggling financially, holding tightly to every penny he earned. Despite his holding on, he couldn't seem to improve his situation. Shinn taught him that money, like energy, needs to circulate. She encouraged him to start giving, even in small amounts, whether it was donating to a charity or buying a meal for a friend. So the act of giving shifted his mindset from scarcity to abundance. And true to the law, his financial situation improved. Opportunities and income began flowing his way as soon as he opened his heart and wallet to giving. Shinn's message in The Game of Life and How to Play It is timeless. Life is meant to be played with awareness, intention, and an open heart. When we understand the rules and play by them, we unlock the doors to success, happiness, and abundance. Let your take from today's video be a fresh perspective on how to play the game of life. Thank you for joining me today. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I cannot wait to see you manifest your greatest desires. If you enjoyed this video, please do not forget to give it a thumbs up, share it with someone who needs to hear this message, and subscribe for more content that empowers you to live your best life. So until next time, keep believing, keep manifesting, keep shining, and keep playing the game of life. Bye for now.